Hey guys, so this video is over dividing polynomials. First, we're going to review over dividing by a monomial. So when you're dividing by a monomial, you just want to take the each term in the numerator and divide it by the denominator. So 6x to the fourth divided by 3x squared. Well, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and x to the fourth divided by x squared is x squared. Then you do the same thing with the next term. Negative 15x cubed divided by 3x squared. Negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. X cubed divided by x squared is x. And 3x squared divided by 3x squared is 1. And that's your answer. Okay, on the next one, so 21a to the fifth b cubed divided by 7ab. Well, 21 divided by 7 is 3. A to the fifth divided by a is a to the fourth. B cubed divided by b is b squared. Negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 2. A cubed divided by a is a squared. B squared divided by b is b. 63 divided by 7 is 9. A squared divided by a is a. And b divided by b just cancels out. So that's your answer. Okay, so something new here, dividing by a binomial. So we're going to use factoring to divide the polynomials below. So in the numerator, you just want to factor it. So what multiplies to get 10 and adds to get negative 7? Okay, well that's going to be negative 5 and 2. So we have w minus 5 and negative 5 and negative 2, sorry. Negative 5 and then w minus, sorry, that should be a minus right there, 2. Okay, and this is still divided by w minus 5. So what happens here is because we have the same factor in the numerator as we do in the denominator, they just cancel each other out, and all you're left with is w minus 2 as your answer. Okay, on number 4, same thing. So even though it's written differently here, this is still division. So in the numerator, what method can we do to factor that? Well, we can do the slip and slide method. So we want to slip the 4 down here to the end. So we have h squared minus 7h minus 8. What multiplies to get negative 8 and adds to get negative 7 is going to be h minus 8 and h plus 1. And because we multiplied times 4 up here on our factors here, we're going to have to divide by 4. So that gives us h minus 2. And this one right here, 1 over 4 doesn't simplify, so we take our denominator and slide it in front, and that gives us 4h plus 1. So those are our factors for the numerator, but this is still divided by h minus 2. Okay, we have these two factors that are the same, so those can cancel each other out. So our answer is 4h plus 1. Okay, then the next part. So it says, what if factoring is not possible? So what if you cannot factor the numerator? There's two different methods that you're going to learn. The first method is long division. And when we're talking about long division, we're talking about the long division that y'all learned in elementary school when you first learned how to divide. Okay, when you have the house, just like that. Okay, so what you're dividing by, that x plus 8 goes out here on the side. What you're dividing into, this part right here, goes inside the house. X squared plus 3x minus 43. Okay, so what we're looking for here is what can you multiply times x to get x squared? Well, you can multiply times an x. Okay, and because we have two terms here, we're going to start above the second term. So x times x is x squared. And x times 8 is 8x. Okay, so then what you're doing, just think back to long division. You always were subtracting this whole thing, right? Okay, so x squared minus x squared, that cancels out. So the whole thing, what you want to find here is you want to find something that is going to cancel this out. That's why you always find out what can you multiply times this first term to get this. Okay, so x squared minus x squared cancels. 3x minus 8x is negative 5x. Then you just pull down the next part. Okay, so now what can you multiply times x to get negative 5x? Well, you multiply times a negative 5. So negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 8 is negative 40. Then we're subtracting. Negative 5x minus negative 5x cancels out. Negative 43 minus negative 40 is negative 3. Okay, this right here, what you're left with, that is your remainder. Okay, so the way that we write our answer here, okay, because our answer to this division problem is this x minus 5, but we have a remainder. So what we say, since it's subtraction right here, you say minus, you say 3, and it's divided by what you're dividing by right here, x plus 8. And that is your answer. Okay, so that is long division. And we'll go over more of those to get more practice on the back side. Okay, but I'm going to show you the synthetic division. And I'll show you how, because if you notice, this is the exact same problem. So I'll show you how you get the same answer by doing different methods here. Okay, synthetic division. So this is something completely brand new, something you've never learned before. So you take the opposite of this sign. So because it's a positive, out here you're going to write a negative. So negative 8. And this time you do the opposite of what we did right there. You make like an L. Okay. Then we're going to take our numbers straight from this problem right here. So we have 1. If there's not a number in front of a term, remember it's 1. Then we have 3. Then we have negative 43. If they had skipped a term, let's say that they didn't have a 3x there, where that x term would be, you would put a 0 if they had skipped it, but they didn't skip it. So we just pull our number straight out, okay? Now the first thing you want to do is this first number, you're going to pull it straight down. So you say 1. Okay, then you're going to multiply this number times that. So negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Then you're going to add straight down. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Multiply. Negative 8 and negative 5 is positive 40. Add down. Negative 43 and 40 is negative 3. Okay, this term right here, this is always the remainder. This first number, that's your constant. This is your x. If it kept going, it would be x squared, x cubed, x to the 4th, so on and so forth. Okay, so if you notice, we have the same numbers we had right here. So this first one, that's x. Constant is minus 5. Remainder is minus 3 over x plus 8. We get the same answer either method. Okay, now you have the option on the homework on what method that you want to do. Okay, I'm gonna show you both methods on the problems that we're gonna do, just so you get more practice with both of them. Okay, you don't have to do both methods on the homework, just choose whichever method you wanna do. Okay, so it says use long or synthetic division to divide the polynomials below. Well, first, let's do long division so you get more practice with it. So we have n minus 7, 2n squared minus 16n plus 19. Okay, what do you multiply times n to get 2n squared? Well, you multiply times 2n. So 2n times n is 2n squared. 2n times negative 7 is negative 14n. Subtract. 2n squared minus 2n squared cancels. Negative 16n minus negative 14n is negative 2n. What do you multiply n times to get negative 2n? Times a negative 2. Negative 2, sorry, I forgot to bring this down. Make sure you bring that down right there, that negative 19. I'm sorry, positive 19 right there. Negative 2 times n is negative 2n. Negative 2 times negative 7 is a positive 14. Subtract. Negative 2n minus negative 2n cancels. 19 minus 14 is 5. Okay, this is our remainder. So our answer here is 2n minus 2 plus 5 divided by n minus 7. Okay, now we'll get the same thing when we do synthetic division. Okay, but I want to show you that we're gonna get the same thing over here, and we're gonna get some more practice with that. So the opposite of this sign, so it's a positive 7. Okay, first number is 2, negative 16, 19. Pull down, 7 times 2 is 14. Negative 16 plus 14, negative 2. Negative 2 times 7, negative 14. 19 plus negative 14 is 5. We have our remainder. We have negative 2, and we have positive 2. Same thing. Okay, number 8. So y minus 2. Bring all of this down. So y cubed plus 5y squared minus 7y plus 2. What do you multiply times y to get y cubed? You multiply times y squared. So y times y squared is y cubed. Negative 2 times y squared is negative 2y squared. Subtract. Y cubed minus y cubed cancels. 5y squared minus negative 2y squared is 7y squared. Pull down the next thing, negative 7y. What do you multiply times y to get 7y squared? Well, you multiply times 7y. So 7y times y is 7y squared. 7y times negative 2 is negative 14y. 7y squared minus 7y squared cancels. Negative 7y minus negative 14y is 7y. Pull down the 2. What do you multiply times y to get 7y? Multiply times 7. 7 times y is 7y. 7 times negative 2, negative 14. Subtract. 7y minus 7y cancels. 2 minus negative 14 is 16. So that's the remainder right there. So our answer is y squared plus 7y plus 7 plus 16 divided by y minus 2. Okay, let's see if we get the same thing by doing synthetic division. So take the opposite of this sign, which is 2. We have 1, 5, negative 7, 2. So pull down the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 times 2 is negative 14. Oh, I'm sorry, positive 14. I don't know where I got the negative from. Positive 14. Negative 7 and 14 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 2 and 14 is 16. So our remainder is 16. Our constant is 7. Our y is 7. Our y squared is 1. You get the same thing. Okay? All right, now missing powers in the dividend. Okay, so if you notice right here, it jumps from a k cubed to a k. So where that k squared is, we have to put a 0. Okay, so first let's do it with long division. So we have k plus 5. So we have k cubed. We have to put our k squared. So we say plus 0k squared. Then we have minus 17k, and then we have plus 32. Okay, you have to make sure that you put the 0 in there whenever you're doing these. Otherwise, it's not going to come out with the right answer. So what do you multiply times k to get a k cubed? Well, you multiply times k squared. So k times k squared is k cubed. 5 times k squared is 5k squared. And then subtract. K cubed minus K cubed cancels out. 0K squared minus 5K squared is negative 5K squared. Then pull down the next one. What do you multiply times K to get negative 5K squared? Negative 5K. K times negative 5K is negative 5K squared. 5 times negative 5K is negative 25K. Then we subtract. Negative 5K squared minus negative 5K squared cancels. Negative 17K minus negative 25K is 8K. Then we pull down the next part, so plus 32. What do you multiply times K to get 8K? Multiply times 8. 8 times K is 8K. 8 times 5 is 40. Then we subtract. 8K minus 8K cancels. 32 minus 40 is negative 8. That's our remainder. Okay, so we have K squared minus 5K plus 8 minus 8 over K plus 5 is our answer. Okay, let's get the same thing and doing synthetic division. So the opposite of this sign, so we have negative 5. K cubed is a 1. Since it skipped K squared, we have to put a 0 where that would be. Negative 17, 32. Okay, pull down the first number. 1. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. 0 and negative 5 is negative 5. Negative 5 and negative 5 is 25. Negative 17 and 25 is 8. 8 and negative 5 is negative 40. 32 and negative 40 is negative 8. So our remainder is negative 8. 8, negative 5, 1. You get the same thing. Okay, last one here. So we have x minus 8. We have 8x to the 4th minus 64x to the 3rd. It skips the x squared, so 0x squared plus 3x minus 28. What do you multiply times x to get 8x to the 4th? Okay, well you multiply times 8x cubed. So x times 8x cubed is 8x to the 4th. Negative 8 times 8x cubed, negative 64x cubed. Subtract. Okay, so 8x to the 4th minus 8x to the 4th cancels out. Negative 64x cubed minus negative 64x cubed also cancels out. Okay, so that is a 0 right there. Okay, so then we want to pull down the next part. What do you multiply times x to get 0? Well, you multiply 0. Okay, so we have 0 times x is 0. 0 times negative 8 is 0. Okay, that all just equals 0. Then we pull down the next thing. So then we have 3x. What do you multiply times that? Well, you still multiply times 0. Okay, so we have 0 and we have 0. What happens here is that eventually this next one we have our 3x here. So 3x minus 0 is 3x. And then we pull down the negative 28. What do you multiply times x to get 3x? Well, you multiply times 3. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. And then subtract. 3x minus 3x cancels. Negative 28 minus negative 24 is negative 4. And that's our remainder. So where those zeros are when you're actually writing your answer, you don't have to write that out like that. You can just say 8x cubed. And then we have plus 3. And then we have minus 4 over x minus 8. And that is our answer right there. Okay, now let's get the same thing doing synthetic division. So take the opposite sign here. So we have 8. We have 8 here. We have negative 64. it skipped the x squared, so we have a 0, we have 3, and we have negative 28. So pull this down, we have 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Negative 64 and 64 is 0. 0 and 8 is 0. 0. 0 and 8 is 0. 3 and 0 is 3. 3 and 8 is 24. Negative 28 and 24 is negative 4. So you have negative 4 as a remainder. We have 3 as our constant. It skips the x, it skips the x squared, and 8x cubed. And that's our answer. Okay, so guys, anytime it skips a term, make sure that you put zeros there, even if they did not leave a constant term at the end. If they did not have a constant, then you would still put a 0 right there. So always fill those spots because you want to make sure that you have each term on there. Okay? All right, guys.